Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most unprofessional professional podcast in the YouTube space, hosted by Zero Requiem 14. And we actually have a pretty stacked cast today. Kevin, as usual, always with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then the return of government-funded studios.
Indeedy.
Yeah. Why don't you introduce those who are uneducated?
Who goes first? Do you want me to go first, Josh? You go first. I'll go first. All right. He seems to be preoccupied battling dark wizards and spiders.
I hear it.
So, government-funded studios and productions, rather, is our label and production company that Josh and I head. You may have heard it with our music for Read Your Mind, which is his handle right now. Where we have most of our music already out. We have 4 albums out, and we're always constantly making more and enjoying the journey. And this whole it also encapsulates our music videos and encapsulates some of our other endeavors. So it's just a nice little foundation that Josh and I have started. Josh has started and brought me into the fold. And it's been, how many years has it been now since we started government funded?
I would say I printed this label back in 2019.
Yeah, so a solid 6 years, 5 to 6 years of work and of releases and of performing. We've done a lot of live performances too. So if you want to find out more about government funded productions, please follow Read Your Mind on Instagram and TikTok, and follow us on music platforms as well, so you can keep up to date. And I think that's about as much of a plug that I'll be able to do for us here. But we're glad to be back. We're glad to be back on the podcast with Zero Requiem, and always as a pleasure with Ultdemon. And y'all are freaking. I'm sorry, y'all are goobers through and through. I just gotta say, before we get into any kind of topics, I remember we were gaming the other night, and Josh, you were actually absent for this, but. What was our new discovery, Jeremy? What was that game?
So basically, we decided because Friday night we just could not figure out what to play. Trev just randomly invited me to play Injustice, and we just couldn't figure a single game out, like what to play for
besides that, yeah,
30 minutes maybe. And then we just settled on Jackbox.
Game that all access to it could platform and could everybody, because everybody is right or the final.
Trev, I think sorry Trev, your mic is kind of going a little in and out. I don't know if it's your headphones or
me.
Just try it now, because it was acting a little funny.
Okay, let me see.
Well, now it's
maybe
good.
I take off the headphones.
No, I think it should be good now. I don't know if it maybe just Discord was messing up or something, but what was your tangent? Sorry.
Sorry. Basically, it was good to find Jackbox because it's a great medium ground. It's a great middle ground for everybody to enjoy. I'm not being paid to say this, but I just think that
none of us are paid to talk about any of the games we've played, so
please, Jackbox, if you want to sponsor us, I'm fine. We'll do a whole dedicated stream for Jackbox, and we'll have it.
That's called we get canceled if we stream that.
Listen, only. I mean, we just label it NC-17. We just completely go balls to the wall and say, put it behind a paywall. And
sounds like
it'll be great. It'll be
sounds
fun.
like something that I need to create a Patreon for then.
Feed pics? No, I'm kidding. All right. Anyways, enough about that. That's just a great. I'm glad we found that. I'm glad. Is basically what I wanted to say. So, Jeremy, I believe we have a whole list of things to get
We
through
do gotta,
today.
we
So
do
what is
gotta,
on the
we got quite a list, and that's assuming we could get
take it
through
away?
all of it today. So if we don't get through all of it,
Mhm.
it's completely fine, dude. Um,
Oh my god.
but the first thing that I'm amazed this is still going because I feel like this is the low key kind of the stupidest argument, but it's something I'm willing to entertain. So the constant debate is 9 to 5 versus streaming, or what I lumped it as well, content creation, is somehow still going.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I
And
want to know. I want to know Kevin's perspective on this because I have my 2 cents, but I'm not currently working a 9 to 5 or a type of like a consistent job like that, being an actor. So I want to hear about your perspective, Jer, and your perspective, Kev.
I honestly believe either way is. I feel like both is gonna be hard because during the 9 to 5, you're always guaranteed like your pay compared to like content creating, where you have to like be working constantly to try to make content, try to like get sponsors and things like that. So I feel like there's no like real. It's kind of like basically you're basically like your own business, having your own business.
okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because
makes
it's
sense.
like everything's always gonna be like hard no matter like what you do.
that's honestly
I
probably the
think that,
most. That's probably like the most like balanced take I've heard so far.
Yeah, because honestly, like I get it. Like,
yeah,
okay, yeah, content creating, you're doing 8 hours, no fucking break, but still, it's like, but you choose not to do the break. Imagine like if you do the break.
yeah. It's giving you a choice, and you feel like you have one. Whereas on a 9 to 5, you take it or you revoke it, and it's feast or famine.
Yeah,
It's
No, I
it's
get
it's
you.
really just a giant balancing act
like
with their energy. People work their
like
9 to 5s.
my other shit is that not everyone is gonna be like the same. There's some content creators that have families that do shit with their families when it comes to it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's
that's
like
great.
you can always like say like, oh, like it's gonna be easier when it's probably not.
Okay, Josh, what were you
Word.
Jeremy,
saying? You said something about a
yeah,
balancing
yeah.
act.
Yeah, it's really a whole balancing act. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, once you have your 9 to 5 and you have your normal routine going, your priorities in
Right.
check, and now you're just battling with how much energy you have at the end of the day. And some of us, it varies. Like I would very much like to have a full, you know, full moments, perspective on what the moment's going on, but half the time and battling with other things that are going on. So I'm like, okay, well, I can be here, or I might be busy, but I can still hang out. It's you work it out. You cut the corners where you need to.
Well, especially with from a sense of content. Well, it was content because we were making music and videos, and we were promoting it, and that to me falls underneath the bigger umbrella term of content create. Especially nowadays, you see how many people utilize any and all like media and entertainment into content creation, which is just a different format for the same thing. Like so, and I've seen us go through it. I've seen you try to balance when you were working at the golf course balancing. God, you were working those. I mean, those hours were crazy, and you were still turning out like work on our music, and I got to commend you for that, sir. By the way, it. I feel like, to segue back into our topic, like having that perspective goes a long way when you have to create your own schedule. And as a content creator, if you're not as organized as you can be, you're going to find it a bit more difficult for that balancing act to come to fruition, I feel. Um, what do you think, Jeremy? Like, but based off of what I just said, what do you think about
You kind of just said it perfectly, because that's it. That is. So here's the thing: is like I'm very biased when it comes to this conversation. I always will say 9 to 5 is in general a harder job depending on what your work is. Office job, retail, food, doesn't matter. Work is work. And when you also have to deal with the fact you are facing people like, head on. Versus like, say you do streaming content and creation. I can understand where the struggles are. Especially because like usually people who bring up this topic, they're usually the most charismatic of individuals when it comes to streaming. They're very elevated personalities of themselves. And to keep that energy going, yes, I can understand how that's draining. And especially when you have to deal with the systems of like, the algorithm or of like what people want to watch. Especially because Twitch and YouTube are very competitive markets in their own rights. Like, especially in my case, gaming has been more of a variety thing now for me, or it's always going to be, even though I fall back on certain games as well. But at the end of the day, I always will choose what I want to stream and when I want to stream, and it's more of when I can, because the other problem too is when your equipment doesn't work, it sucks. It really does.
Oh yeah.
Like that's why I've been absent from streaming in general. At least by the time of when this uploads, it's probably going to be like either 4th of July or Saturday when I upload it. Usually, you can have a lot of things, but when you get the one thing that's broken or is not working with you, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You were like waiting for what was it? 8 hours, 13 hours for something to.
Yeah, the last podcast took like 12 hours because the internet just decided to not cooperate.
You know how meta it's going to be if this happens again. Knock on wood, but if it happens,
yeah, knock on wood.
It's going to be so meta.
Like I said, I usually try to stagnate every like release like as much as I can. And I think the thing is with this streaming break that I am taking right now, it's kind of giving me more of an idea. Okay, how can I organize this properly while I want to do YouTube as well? Because at the end of the day, I personally, and this is just me personally, I'd rather be partnered on YouTube over Twitch, because Twitch is a little too volatile right now in terms of like partnerships, what you're going up against in terms of streaming. Because Tim the Tatman just kind of said that game streamers might be cooked. Well, could, just because IRL is king right now.
I actually believe that is true.
Yeah.
And
I think that, well,
my problem with the thing is the IRL is king argument. Let's be honest, it's also fueled by Kick. Kick kind of really like brought that shit into light, and obviously, when you factor the most popular Kick streamers, eventually that bleeds over to the other competition. Bleeds over to YouTube, bleeds over to Twitch.
It's not just that, but also Kick kind of is like they're less lenient on what people are posting to, or people are like doing on their live streams.
Yeah, it's the Kick is the Wild West.
Yeah,
that seems like it's overregulated.
It's underregulated, if anything.
It's underregulated. Really?
Well,
then how are they cracking down? Are they doing it to compensate because it's underregulated?
Well, let's put it this way:
cracking down on...
It's funded like a lot. Aiden Ross, who like funds the hell out of Kick.
That seems fucking scary. Look. I understand that it has to be private investors and it has to be like private things like that. But if you're gonna have a base platform for people to come and put their content on, you kind of need like reliable. I don't know who these people are, right? Like but that's me. I haven't done the research. I haven't looked into it myself. But like, just from first glance, it does not seem like a brand new thing should have some big names attached to it to give some security and some like ease of, if they want to be a contender with Twitch or YouTube, if they want to be like, I don't know. I feel like this is spiraling into a different topic now, but like, to me, that just seems sus. But I just don't know. I don't know everything.
See, the thing is ever since Kick's inception, I was always skeptical of them. Number one, just because mostly for starters, I did not know a single person on that, because I'm gonna be quite frank, I am terrible when it comes to recognizing streamers. I only recognize mostly big ones, and I only follow one other one that I've watched since YouTube.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna be. So I can just tell you this: I am not the person to ask who should I watch for stream, or who would I recommend to watch for streaming, because it's like I don't freaking know. There's now more variety than before. Like there's good and bad when it comes to like the current market, and that's. But at the same time,
Jeremy, the answer. Yeah, go ahead.
But for me, I say I don't know. Do you have whatever you like? Just go look up the most popular one and just fall down that rabbit hole.
See, I would look up Zero Requiem 14.
I think that's a great answer. That's the correct one.
That's what you should be saying. Anytime you're like, what do I need to stream? Oh, I got you. Here, look up Zero Requiem. And then they look you up and you're like,
yeah. I usually yell at kids' games.
We'll pull up Epic Mickey. We'll have a grand old time screaming our faces off.
We'll play Fortnite and I'll just yell at everybody.
That's honestly that's more realistic. I'm being quite honest.
Yes, quite literally. But to get back to like the but to quickly just get back to that topic, there are things, both are hard. I do understand the streaming, how content creation and streaming can be hard. I just think personally, and this is just a personal opinion, and it could change, next few years, I still think 9 to 5 is a much more taxing job in general, because there's a lot more physicality.
All right.
Sure.
For
the most part.
I would say...
Proof. That's perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, who's gonna say who's firing the first shot?
I would. Okay, if we're opening up the floor, I would like to. Unless Kevin has something as well. I feel like I've been talking too much on this first topic.
No, you guys are good.
All right, good. I would say that again. It all like how you said. It does depend on what the 9 to 5 is, because an office job. Yeah, it can be more physically taxing. And I'm not saying that in order for a 9 to 5 to be considered this taxing, you need to be in construction or no,
like blue collar work.
Even an office job can be physically exhausting. You know what I mean? Like even if it's mundane and you're sitting all day, like right, and it could be mentally exhausting as well and emotionally exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
So like. All that contributes as well, and even though 9 to 5s are more or less, more than often, more physically taxing. If we're talking about content creation, there are so many people who do content creation around physical exertion, and I mean, just look at any gym channel, any gym rat channel, any
fitness influencers.
Fitness, exactly, yeah. So. Whereas they might have a different perspective for what we're talking about, and specifically the video game industry and video game streaming.
My audio went out.
Yes, you are correct. I'm
not hearing.
Okay, so this is just kind of like more of a with the current generation of gaming, and this is low key a part 2 to me and Kevin's conversation last week. But if you're given a choice, let's just say you have a endless budget, all the money in the world. Are you getting a PC or just whatever the next console is going to be? Whether it's basically either Switch, PS6, whatever the new Xbox is going to be, or Switch 2, or all 3, or are you going to get a PC?
I think I went over this PC and then the Switch 2, because the thing is like you can't play fucking Nintendo games on like the PC unless you do like emulators.
Yeah,
but again, that's it.
You got to do an emulator, and then just pray that they don't get like they don't get struck down by Nintendo.
Yeah, so it's kind of like or do a PC and fucking and the Switch too. But at the same time, it's like all those fucking games that are on like fucking PC. I just want to fucking be playing them already, like on console. It'll be fun to play it on console.
Okay. That's all right, Josh. You're back. Can you hear us?
Yes.
And we can hear you. Good.
Okay, good.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
good.
But
Do you want to answer this question? We're on the second topic.
Okay, what's up?
so, okay.
Just
So
giving
the
you guys
question
up.
I posed to the chat was: so let's just say you just have an endless budget,
Mhm.
and if you're given a choice for this next generation of gaming, are you taking a PC or are you going to just take whatever the next consoles are? So PS6, whatever the new Xbox is, or a Switch 2, or all three of those.
Mm,
Endless
Oh,
budget,
I
okay?
can't
We're
really
not
answer
factoring
that.
money, okay?
I can't really factor the PC thing. I was never a. Oh yeah, I would still follow my own little thing here. I grew up with a PS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I might as well just follow that trail.
Punching along, huh?
Mhm.
Hell, huh?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
But I
Um,
won't doubt in the capabilities that a PC has. Against
Like all the
unlimited
consoles.
networks. Yeah.
You basically have like and I mean I'll allude to it once Trev gets his point out, but I got a kind of like a interesting perspective when it comes to consoles like within the next generation. But
Mhm.
Trev, what would you pick?
so for me, it comes down to two things. Do you value a nostalgic or innovative experience? This is what I mean. So far, haven't offered me anything in terms of games and in terms of like anything that interests me now. I can see the kid inside me, like what my interests used to be when I was a Nintendo Switch kid, or no, sorry, Nintendo kid, and how the sense of nostalgia is the only thing really pulling me towards making that decision. Which I think it goes without saying, the GameCube collection that's coming on for it is a huge selling point. I've been trying to find a way to play Wind Waker for the last 8 years of my life, and I have never gotten. I think I downloaded an emulator on my Mac, but I have never gotten it to work with an actual controller. I'm not really as adept to that kind of technology because I've always had a console. That being said, given the state of what the industry is at the moment and what a lot of big companies, albeit making some of them are making great work, they're also the philosophies around it is still very like it's not very user friendly. Um, whereas or it's too user friendly, right? Like they want too much control over the consumer, and they want to control exactly how their art and how their content is enjoyed, which is why you have Nintendo cracking down on on all modding communities and all emulator ports because they want that control. Sony and Xbox are a bit more lenient, but only because of the philosophies that their companies were based off of. You know what I mean? Like they still would like to have that control too, since more people are going to be buying the product. So, like that compared to making a very to get a gaming PC, there's other avenues and elements for somebody with a gaming PC to access Sony games, Xbox games, and even Nintendo games, albeit a bit harder. So, in a perfect world where money is no issue, of course I'd want all of them. But if I had to make a choice, I would make the PC choice. And I would make it where I can have my cake and eat it too. You have modding communities. You have more access to user-friendly experiences and maybe fan-created experiences on top of the licensed games that you're going to get. There are games that are console only, right? There are games that are going to be PS only. There are going to be games that are going to be like, I'm going to miss out on the Insomniacs stuff until like way later, until they finally port it to their PC. But like the fact that that's an option now shows the trajectory that is going in. And if they try to take anything away, they're going to find significant backlash. Because how much is an investment for a personalized computer like that, for a gaming PC? It's close to like thousands of dollars for a lot of people. It's a huge investment. So that if they take anything away from them, so there's a little extra thing of like, it's in everyone's best interest to keep that market excelling and increasing in terms of quality and quantity. So it just seems like a smart choice to go PC. And if you know anybody who can mod any old hardware, then you're in luck, because then you can literally have your cake and eat it too, and get your nostalgia and get your innovation. So if in my perfect world where money is no issue, I would get a PC, have a Sony account, Xbox Game Pass account, and for home slice of nostalgia, uh, you know, modded choice with Wii GameCube. So it's hard, but find that if money is not an issue,
Oh no.
secure that for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's PC with a modded GameCube or Wii on the side. That's my sweet spot for me.
Okay.
That.
Yes. I do apologize, Trev, but I don't know if it's maybe like it's a Wi-Fi thing on your end that's kind of acting up. But I did get the gist of. But whoever, I know this is probably going to be audio only, but I'm pretty sure we got the gist of it essentially. That
Okay,
you're basically meeting in the middle with it. You're getting your nostalgia fix along with the innovations that is with modern day.
that just seems like the smarter choice in an ever increasing market where business is always going to be at the forefront. Then the consumer at some point has to look out for themselves instead of being loyal to one console. You know what I mean? Or being loyal to one. You have to be able to enjoy what you enjoy. Otherwise, what's the point? If you're just sitting there with pros and cons, the PS6 instead of a PC, then there's something if you to, and again, if you get you.
Oh no, it's happening again. It's happening again. So I do. I'm sorry, Trev. It kind of happened randomly again. But you're saying like something about pros and cons. That's what I was hearing. Like, sorry.
Continue.
Okay, so I'll give my.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was trying to figure out how to PCR part of it, but so my take.
Oh yeah.
So if given my choice, I think it's pretty fucking clear what it is. I'm just going straight to PC.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that I would say that is because exclusivity is just dying for starters. Let's get that out of the way. You're gonna have 2, potentially 3 Microsoft IPs coming to PlayStation fairly soon. Forza already dropped. Gears is coming out in August. Halo is likely next year, if not sometime this year with Master Chief Collection. And with crossplay and cross progression being a factor, what is the point now? Now, granted, I can understand because PC is a very daunting thing to have because you gotta worry about the PC just working in general, and that's with building.
There's more. Okay. The future for me, at least, whatever you're looking at, yeah, it's all going to cost money to have more fun, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like with PC, there's always mods. With, at least for me, with the basic, console with PS3s. I mean, you're gonna have everything that's gonna upgrade too, right? Like new controllers, new concepts. You know what I mean? But I just see, for the average gamer who's just okay, I just want to
Just a casual.
slap something on and game with my friends. You know what I mean? It's going to be less money because it's all standard. But then again, if you want your freedom and you want more capabilities, yeah, I'd for sure go with the PC. But I can only speak for my own experience. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's completely understandable.
Well,
go on, Trev.
Yeah, I was gonna say that and if money was an issue, my answer would probably be different if I'm being honest. But
Yeah, that's obviously
money was no issue. I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like I feel like we know the clear answer, because if we can afford, if it's within our means, and all it takes is just a little extra thing, and it just depends on how much you want it. How badly do you want to play a modded version of GTA 5 where you play as the Hulk, rizzing up like it's a dating sim? You know what I mean? Like, just how modded do you want your shit?
You just want to how much do you want to destroy, like, quote unquote, destroy the machine with 20 million mods, like on GTA or something?
Oh my god!
So so the thing is, now this is where it's going to be a problem for me to even consider a PS6. Number one, I don't think this generation ever fucking got off running. I can only name one game that is currently exclusive on PS5 right now. That's Astrobot. And and mind you, the game came out last year. And
I think they only did it because it's
very tight.
It won Game of the Year.
Other thing too. This is the other thing about Sony. They have this thing where their games are timed exclusives, which, to sum it up, it's a 12 to 18 month contract that the company has with Sony. And once that contract is up, they're ready to go to PC right away. Because these games are kind of made for PC already, in mind. Because recently, Stellar Blade just came out on PC with DLC and everything. And it sold 3 million copies.
The B?
3 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say
million.
I misheard that.
Nah, you're good. You're good. That would be insane if that means Gooner bait is too strong.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not fucking wrong.
I'll be sure to add this part for Gus specifically. Stop playing your stupid fucking mobile game.
Every time you name drop him, you just expose him. And not that he cares, but like,
I don't think he fucking cares. It's just like, and I'd say that, and this is the one thing I will say, and I'm gonna go on a fucking tangent with this one. Okay. He is starting to become a goddamn mobile player, and I have
no way,
because he plays Nike, Goddess of Victory. And the thing is don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna deny that the story sounds pretty good, but my god, the gameplay is so fucking boring to look at. It's like baseball to me. No. It doesn't seem fun to watch, but it seems more fun to play.
Ouch.
I'm sorry to the Dodger fans.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Mind you,
I get it.
I'm a basketball raised household, so.
See, but that's the difference. My dad finds basketball boring. Actually, it's funny.
That's so funny. Oh no. Now, granted, the Lakers are not I wouldn't say the Lakers are like the greatest thing right now. Like, I'll admit that as someone from LA, the Lakers are one of those teams that, like, you either have a great season or you fucking hate basketball.
You hate the damn season. Yeah. I feel like that's the attitude.
It's the dichotomy of a Laker fan.
Oh dear God.
But anyways, oh my God, we're getting.
That's the I felt like that's honestly the phenomenon with LA. Like they're either really doing good or you're not gonna follow them because they're
No, but are you
Everyone else-
saying because of basketball or sports in general?
okay. I like soccer. But if I go see anybody except a classic game or a tournament or a World Cup, it's not gonna be the same. The pressure isn't there, or the because
Like-
my fandom isn't there. You know what I mean?
Versus, yeah, because obviously the World Cup is a big thing.
Like if you go to a Dodger game, especially nowadays, it's a sight to see. We're huge record holders. You know what I mean? So regardless if we do bad or not, you're gonna see a feat game. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Well, with at least for me, basketball. That's one of the games that I find that it won't be boring, or I won't because there's always something going on that court every 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And although it's almost the same thing that's going on, oh, he traveled, oh, he fell, or oh, you know what I mean? It's
stepped out of bounds or shit like that.
It's you're still seeing the ball and how it's moving and how it's being maneuvered, and it's different. Whereas when it comes to soccer, there's more balls to be had to make more like interesting shit, like shooting from freaking half court. You know what I mean? Just like
Shut up. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just
Sorry, yeah,
Understandable.
of course. Yeah. Sorry, I was being a pervert for a second. I apologize.
But
Not bad.
yeah, that's the only thing is. Remember how this tangent was supposed to be like how I dislike mobile games?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
What happened to that?
the point being is that I don't respect them because they haven't experienced what we experienced. And what I say, and the only reason I say that is because like you can have good stories, don't get me wrong, but your gameplay loop is the thing that I look for. I look for gameplay loops. And I don't like being gated off to play my game.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
So, like, even games like fucking anything from Hoyoverse, they will time you from playing their game unless you want to invest money to get the good stuff.
This is why I was so hesitant. Because when you said that, like, basically the studio also does a bunch of mobile games, and I'm like, no.
Hoyoverse does mobile games, and they're also on consoles and PC.
Yeah, same game with the same microtransactions in them.
Pretty much.
See, even more of a reason why I was hesitant to join you in the Genshin Impact years.
Honestly,
the wars of Genshin Impact that you went through.
I am somewhat saddened by the fact that I grinded the shit out of that game just to be like, I'm just not having fun because this game is like, it's so goddamn grindy. Like, don't get me wrong, there's ways to do the grind. That isn't one of them.
No, right.
So I'd stay. I tried. If I'm gonna play any of those games, I'm gonna be the hardest casual ever.
And
It happened again, Trev.
Oh no.
Like we can't hear you.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, he's like, nope.
You might need to get some like USB hubs or something just to.
I'm telling you.
Just say something. Just say something, Trev, so we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, can you hear me?
Papa, can you hear? Anyways,
That you're looking for.
can you pull up? Jeremy, can you pull up this TikTok? Actually, can we like watch it again? Like on the podcast, or no? I guess we can't because it's just going to be audio, right?
It's mostly going to be audio. but
Okay, well then you know what? I watched it. I know I have my.
I watched it. Kevin watched it. Josh, did you watch this TikTok that I sent?
I did not.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So
We'll go through. We'll try to do a Cliff Notes version of this, but it's probably gonna be boiled down
Or
to
if you
more
want-
arguing.
or if you want, while we start, you can mute yourself and then go onto your phone on Discord and then watch the TikTok there, or it's in the group chat too, in our
I could just play it if you
Um,
want me to.
If it's
Sure.
just gonna be audio, that's what I'm saying. If it's just audio, there's no point of capturing it on the audio.
I'm gonna go just do it right now. Hold on.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna let the panel talk first before I fucking lose it.
Well,
I'm gonna go second to last.
All right, let's
Go
just
right before
let
Johnny.
me ask the one who just listened to it. What do you think,
Okay,
Josh?
Josh. First impressions.
well, I mean, it just sounds like he's very niche too, and just trying to find nostalgia because, well, at least like I said, I am not the most advanced gamer here. I am not, you know what I mean? I can agree with him on the nostalgia aspect. Like, oh god, yeah, I used to have a Street Fighter game. I used to have like a Batman style game. I used to have, you know, LA Noire, GTA, but not GTA. I kind of like that. Yeah, there was more variety for sure. I mean, it is what it is. We live in a society that is always upgrading and trying to compete. So the next greatest game has to compete with the current greatest game. So it's like I'm not gonna blame an entire network or an entire, you know, generation of artists for not being able to come up with the next game. Not everyone's, you know, a Steve Jobs or innovator in this type of stuff. So it's like, all right, I feel it. But yeah, I hate to go back to the same, you know, little opinion that I have with, like, you know, it's very niche in these sort of aspects. You know what I mean? It's like, hello?
Yeah.
And happen again.
No, I didn't know if Josh finished his thought. That's all.
No, I did. I thought one
Okay.
of you guys' mics
No,
was coming
okay.
in.
All right, Kevin. You go. What do you think of this TikTok?
Honestly, I like. I don't know. I miss the fucking having friends over, fucking playing games and shit.
Yeah, there's
And
no player games. That's for damn sure.
yeah, but at the same time, like fucking gaming does fucking like advance every fucking year. So it's kind of like there's games that fuck I like. I okay. I miss the classic for Batman. Like Batman was good. There's no like again patch notes or anything. Then there's like you have all these like old games that you know you have fun playing, and then we have your friends over, you guys have fun playing. But now it's like when games are advancing even more, like playing online and everything, it's like it's fun, is great, but sometimes it's just for me what kills it, it's just like how fucking everyone just loves cheating, and it kind of like ruins like the taste of the game for you.
Okay.
Valid. Actually, really valid.
All right, Trev. I want to hear yours.
Rant of his
No.
3 times. Sorry. Before I get into this, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you right now.
Yeah, it's just
Good.
coming
I
in.
just want to make sure. Okay. So basically, when I first saw this, I had a very similar reaction. I was like, "Yo, he's kind of spitting. He is pointing out a lot of issues here, and he is pointing out why, at least why there is a reaction to a lot of gaming companies and games in general and the industry in general." And I see a perspective. I see a perspective that's shared between a lot of people because they tie a lot of experience of gaming to their nostalgia. Even if you're looking for that, kind of to build upon the previous point, like if you're after nostalgia in terms of your experience and only nostalgia, then your gaming choices are going to reflect that. You're going to want games that give a more couch co-op experience, or that give a more give you a feeling of what you felt when you were a kid. Like Resident Evil, you know what I mean? Like if they came out, there's a lot of different like games that have their fans and have their legacies, so they always rely on them. So because of that, they cater to the people who are dedicated to them. And while they're trying to get more people in on it, and they're trying to get, you know, it's you get this like reluctance, or you get this like almost offense from your fans, or from the fan base you're trying to get into, because niche, and because of everyone wants their games how they want. I mean, in terms of what he was talking about, of I'll say it, of Baldur's Gate, I actually know quite a lot of people who love that kind of gameplay, who love role playing games in general. It's part of video games core is role playing games, like to literally create a fantasy. Even when games weren't like all like where they were on a computer in a lab, when it was Pong, or it was text based, where you could write in an adventure and like write a story basically into the computer and have it be choice adventure. Even that, to its bare bones, is still an RPG. And so like, yeah, he's I that's why I feel like he's talking from a specific perspective, because he's talking mainly about from guys who have that. And then he says, if you don't want sporting experiences, then all the other experiences he talks about, I've never experienced them growing up. I was a Nintendo kid growing up, and even though I had friends who had PlayStations and Xboxes, they never shared those games with me. That wasn't like, that's a very niche market of like interest. And while those games do have a market, like Tony Hawk, game, there are games in there. He then you to so is a lot more. It's a frustration with the industry that is somewhat valid. I do see, again, he was making a lot of different points, but toward the end, I feel like he was getting a little lost in the sauce.
I feel you're very right in that. Like he's pushing his narrative towards a certain market, which is the nostalgic aspect of his opinion. And so I think
yeah,
we can all go back and feel nostalgia. Unfortunately, the status quo is always going to change.
Yeah, like, because the technology is always going to change.
It's like you said with like NFL Blitz and all that. Yeah, there's not all of that anymore. All those separate ass companies. It's now just like, okay, who's got the money to produce a good football game? You know what I mean? For soccer games, it's no longer, you know, all those other things anymore. FIFA's not even a thing anymore. It's always gonna change.
Are you talking about FIFA Street?
You see, and like we never even had that back then. You feel me? Like that was like a series that was very niche. You know what I mean? Like at least for me, for soccer, it was always the FIFA games, and now that FIFA's not backed by them, that role play style of game is different. Like it's now they have separate storyboards and shit like that. That was really never the thing. It was really just building teams, trading teams. You know what I mean? Now it's evolved. It's really not the same. But I get it. He does have a point in, oh man, we used to have way better times all, you know, talking about a game. Like, okay, for example, just that simple matter of just talking about a damn game. Like, remember when people used to cut high school just to go pre-order games? You know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption,
GTA.
and GTA. And then there you go. How long have we been actually waiting for a GTA 6? Even when we all had PS4s.
Let's not listen. 13. Let's not.
That's right.
Let's not get into semantics here, because if we do, we're gonna get sad and go down a freaking rabbit hole of GTA 6. We should have our own dedicated podcast just on GTA 6. To be
We
quite honest.
would need the entire group on that one.
I was just saying.
Well, yeah, we would need Gus.
We waited a long time, and if we're gonna solely base this whole thing on nostalgia and waiting for the I want to wait to feel like I like the last game. Well, we would look at this wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's okay. There is no more Batman Arkham series for now. Well, whatever the last one was, not really what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is that although there's not that particular game, it's been replaced by other things like Hogwarts Legacy and Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
To niche markets. Yeah, to niche markets. Because nowadays, actually, people are playing. What's the top game right now?
What are like the top games right now?
Besides, I mean, obviously, this is the multiplayer games, but like, just the finished games. What are the top games?
Expedition 33.
It's like, and then remaster, right? And then it's Oblivion remaster.
Oblivion remaster, yeah, it was pretty big. I don't know where it is right now.
Right.
Well,
I didn't mean to derail that. I'm just saying, like, you're right on those respects for Spider-Man and Hogwarts Legacy. It's just those
like what is filling in the void for like the Arkham series.
Exactly. That's what I mean to say. Like these style games do exist. It's just it depends on who is,
who's working on the project.
I'm definitely not like the TikToker. You know what I mean? Like
game.
Not knowing what his own experiences was with his own gaming experiences, but I just don't have the same ones that he has. You know what I mean? I agree with half of the nostalgia things, because it's like, okay, yeah, I wish there was honestly more better 2-player games rather than story mode or story mode and online. You know what I mean? Like, I can only remember a good couch co-op is like, the Lego series, or like Little Big Planet, or what was another good couch co-op?
We never. That's like a party game. That's not. I mean, it is couch co-op. You are right, and that does count. It's a stick game that just got on not that long ago on the PlayStation.
That was good. Like, it could pass the time, and it's one of those arcade games where it's like, okay, let's put this on for a while.
It's a Steam game. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Though. There's an argument to be said that was originated for PC. You know what I mean? And then it had a port to consoles.
I'm just going to say this. There were things that I agreed with. I do agree that, yes, modern gaming is kind of the weirdest thing right now. However, there's a couple bullet points I need to acknowledge. All the games he listed were action games, sports games, or a shooter.
Yeah.
And there was a tweet. So there was
a compare my experiences with his looking at the video.
Yes.
Wait.
But I could still see what he was going for in terms of nostalgia. Like, okay.
Wait. I want to hear the tweet. I'm so sorry.
So I can't say the first word because it's a goddamn slur. Let's just say, people when they people when they see a game and it doesn't have a ball or a gun and it's a picture of Patrick sleeping.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Gosh.
Here's the thing. I think what he wants is more variety in sports games. That was my
for him, just his shit,
Like, that's my take initially. But then once the video got further and further, starters, midnight releases. Did you not know the Nintendo Switch 2 had a midnight launch?
See, he didn't say any Nintendo properties.
See, and I can tell he was like, like here's
like-
the
Yeah.
okay.
That's isolating a tired. Yeah.
He's getting more views by basing his own stupid opinions.
Exactly. That is the TikTok fucking method. So
These are your Russell the Feathers methods of getting your fucking views.
yes. So like the midnight launch thing. Yes. I do agree that those don't happen anymore. The only time we've had one recently is obviously the Switch 2. But nowadays we're in a more digital era. But don't get me wrong, I still think pray to God, the next 5-10 years that there is a physical media market.
Well,
Assuming.
do you also feel that we're now in a market that's too saturated with competition to lay down a certain narrative, like before? You know what I mean?
It depends on what that. It depends on what that narrative is. It's like, okay, if we're doing midnight launches for a goddamn multiplayer game, if it's not Call of Duty, what the fuck is the next one then? Battlefield maybe, but even then.
But okay, we've still been able to fill our void with there was in the moment there was nothing as great in my opinion just when I was the camaraderie and everything, right? With Modern Warfare 2 when it came out, we're like, oh, you playing it when you get home, you playing it again when you get, I'm not even coming to school because I'm playing it when I get home, or something like that.
Yes.
We've been able to fill that little void with other things like what was the other BR that we did that had those characters? Blue Hunter. Who's
Apex?
Yes, there you go. That was for Fortnite, but for Call of Duty, it was what's that new one that you invited me to? The finals or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, the finals is more of an arena objective shooter. That's the thing. It's entirely different from a BR.
COD.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. That's
it doesn't even take a mode from COD. It's more of a mode from fucking Overwatch.
Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, you're right.
So
I wish I played Overwatch.
I don't know.
That was another open world game that I wish I was.
See, here's the funny thing is that like I think you would like Marvel Rivals.
Own every single game on Earth. You know what I mean?
He has Marvel Rivals. I've signed.
You just played on his account.
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay.
So he has. Anyways.
We're gonna
Sorry.
So the couch co-op thing. I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm like, you clearly aren't looking around the market because modern day couch co-op, if it's not a Nintendo game like anything on the Switch 2, you have Hazelight Studios who makes co-op fucking story games. You could play split screen, whether you play online or you could play in person, and those are usually like game of the year quality games. Like, I wouldn't be surprised that Split Fiction that came out this year gets, like, nominated, at least.
It's probably my own, want of nostalgia, meaning, like, for me, a good...
Your version of couch co-op.
Exactly, right. So, in order for me to deem, like, a good couch co-op, say, okay, yeah, this is going to be worth my time, I would also have to have been blessed with my co-op who has the same mentality, if that makes any sense. Like, hey, you want to play Little Big Planet with me? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that much harder for me to find a co-op because I want to be able to rely on the other guy that's going to play with me. You know what I mean?
That's what Hazelight is for, because let's put it this way. You could just look up all their games. They are all co-op. And one of you only needs to buy the game. The other can just join in through a friend pass.
That I did not know.
So
that's a good modern tool.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And the most recent game, though, that's not Hazelight Studios, Lords of the Fallen, which is kind of a Souls-like game, they just implemented their own version of that, where you can play through that game's campaign co-op with one person owning the game, and there's a friends pass version of it.
God, did you ever? Okay, random memory. But did you guys ever play Star Wars Episode 3, like the video game?
I don't remember. I don't think I ever did.
Well, but the reason why is because that was a game where you could go through the whole story. You know what I mean? Shared, not split screen, but just shared screen. You know, had a good 2-player, had a good rock'em sock'em effect. I don't know.
Like a
I
beat
just
'em
wish
up.
there was-
It's a beat 'em up game.
Yes, but it didn't feel like it, right? Because the if you mastered all the moves, right? Because there were so many moves, it didn't really feel like that. It felt like, okay, let me see if I could land this, or let me see if I could land this. You know what I mean? Like
So it sounded
it
like
didn't feel like a boom, 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 boom. All right, he's almost dead. All right, same button, you know, button mashing like circle, and it's the
so
same
basically,
thing, right? Like,
so basically, what you're talking about is like you're thinking of like a traditional beat 'em up, like a Ninja Turtles and The Simpsons arcade. That's what you're thinking of as a beat 'em up.
more of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with like complex combos.
Hack and slash.
Yeah, more hack and slash.
Okay, so here's the thing. His couch co-op argument also still falls apart regardless, because there are indie studios doing games like those old school arcades with a little bit of complexity to them. You have the fucking Ninja Turtle game Shredder's Revenge, which is made by an indie studio. You have Marvel's Cosmic Invasion, which is coming out sometime later this year. You have Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. All three of those games are indie dev games that you could play either online or couch co-op.
Yeah, see? Yeah, well, I guess it hasn't come to my, you know...
Yeah, and that's completely
hasn't piqued my
understandable.
interest.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, I can understand, like, if people just didn't realize. Like, here's the thing. I don't want to make this about me just roasting this guy entirely. I think I understand,
No.
and let's put it this way. I understand his takes. That was my first
Well,
initial
he
watch.
has points. I just think he's overblowing.
I think, to me, it's more of they're misguided, is what I think. And I will say the one overblown part is when he mentions a niche game and uses Baldur's Gate 3 as the example. You want to know what the problem
How many
with...
copies of that game?
As of
How many
2023...
copies did you say?
Okay, first of all, Google is a free resource, by the way. I just want to let everyone know that. Google is a free resource. Google Baldur's Gate 3, as of August 2023, when you Google it, has sold 15 million copies. We're in 2025, and I'm pretty sure there are still people buying the game. And it's just still being supported.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is that number now? Probably 20, 25 mil at this point?
Yeah.
And then on top of it, like, the whole expand your horizon thing, like, I'm going to make this smaller as much as I can. I think he was good at first, and then what did he say? Action games, shooter, sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because,
Yeah.
it is what it is. In a world where we look at popularity first, you know what I mean? All the ones that don't get recognized are always going to get missed out until they get picked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by we can't own all the games in the world at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So like we can't say like, oh man, come on, like what happened, bro? I'm like, well, they're there. That's why I said it's overblown because it's just you don't know about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I can't blame.
Either way.
You know.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could go further with this freaking TikTok because it's like, it's somehow stuck with me and it's been like weeks since it released. But again,
No,
I'm sure I've heard he's actually a pretty good content. Like,
I'm sure, but like
I think this one is a miss.
yeah.
I think this was a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he took
He was
the
cooking
shot
at first and then
and he went and he missed.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He let his opinion overstate the point, and one person's opinion is not going to speak for an entire generation or generations before that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Whew. Now,
That was nice.
yep. That's good. And now this kind of like leads into like more stuff that I think this sort of kind of leads into that is then people who try to make an opinion when this is their lineup exclusively, and I'm sure everyone's gonna know this one: COD, NBA 2K, Madden. I'd argue even Fortnite, League of Legends, and I will add Marvel Rivals and Roblox. When those are your games exclusively, and then you all of a sudden make a fucking opinion about gaming, saying, "Oh, gaming is dead."
It's not. It's just dead for you.
It's called you don't like playing games. Just say that. You don't want to expand your horizons. That's fine, but don't make an opinion like that.
There's a whole phenomenon with Trev and I, actually, it reminds me of this. So, like, Trev and I have always played video games, like, since we can remember, but I kind of fell off a bit. You know what I mean? Because of other stuff, but
I mean, if you're just gonna say it,
came back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it doesn't really go away.
I don't mean to devalue what you said, but to a counterpoint, the game that got you to come back was a game that made you feel like you were playing a different skin version of Fallout, aka Hogwarts Legacy.
Well,
I mean,
not
it's an open
Fallout.
world game.
Believe it or not, this has more qualities to Batman than anything.
Right, but what I'm saying, okay, what I meant to say then was it scratches your niche. It scratches the itch to want to be in that world.
You won't find me filming a video saying, "Hey, what happened to all these? What happened to video gaming in the open worlds, man?
Of course. No, of course. But it's interesting that that's the game that got you to come back. And to that point, like, it's not for lack of trying on our part. We've been like, hey, we've been for years throwing games your way, and it's fun actually to see what you react to, because you love watching them. To your credit, you are so interested in them, but from a distance. But it took Hogwarts Legacy to get you to get the controller back in your hand, which I think is just funny. It's very endearing too, but it's
maybe another real world element that cemented me going back.
Yeah, sure.
Losing
more
myself
time, right?
and my time.
but besides that, like, yeah, exactly. Honestly, I don't think I have anything else to say on this. Kevin, do you have anything to say on this?
Yeah, right? Like, fuck, Kevin, what's up?
No, honestly, it's like, I enjoy playing all the games that we play. There's games where, even though fucking single player is like, I just want to, have that time just to play for myself. Like, there's times where it's like even I'm playing the Hogwarts Legacy right now, but I haven't gone back to it. But I haven't gone back to it because I'm not gonna say I'm busy playing multiplayer games, but it just
it does take your time, bro. Like,
it does take your time.
Just to mention, I was gaming it up with Trev last night, and I'd left the house at like 11:30, and I came home, and I said, "All right, I'm gonna play for just 2 seconds." Yeah, right.
2 seconds turned into like hours.
11:30 became 6 a.m.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not. When you guys called me, I was still asleep.
I knew it.
And I said,
I knew it.
Okay, I didn't mind.
Well,
I didn't mind because I said, you know what?
I
haven't pulled an all-nighter for video games.
So hard right now.
I just said I haven't pulled an all-nighter for video game, single-player video games. I'm like, okay, all right, sure, why the fuck not? And I did. It was no regrets.
So that is so fucking funny.
Hey, honestly, again, when there's like a new game coming out and just playing, it's great.
You just get hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with Warner Brothers and their shit, you know what I mean? So far, I fan service is like, what is fan service? This is like Wow.
There's kind of a that's the thing about Warner Brothers though. They're kind of like low key, like they're starting to become the company that pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, they are old money, and they don't want to go away.
They're gonna be. I have a good feeling that within the next like 3 years, they're gonna turn into what I think of Ubisoft, where I say, go fucking bankrupt at this point. Because of
Yeah.
and I say that because of quality of games.
Oof.
So that yeah. So ooh.
It's just weird. I feel okay. To summarize something earlier, like okay, the evolution of games, the way I'm seeing it from a noob here, I very much am looking at if we were to go to the past, right? Like innovators like Steve Jobs coming up with random ass video games like Pong and like the amount of inspiration that came from that, you know, like oh, this man invented just this game and now these series of games are now this now. I feel like we've yet to evolve so that we could all mix together and be friends again until we disembark again, if you know what I mean. It's like this tug and pull of creative freedom and collaborations. I just feel like we're not all there. I feel like the market is too damn competitive for us to even want to get into bed with one another. Does that make sense?
So
That's funny.
go on, Trev.
Well, the only other thing that I think breaks that a little bit, and kind of because it has the best of both worlds of innovation and nostalgia, and gives you that feeling. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it with my chest. Jackbox TV achieves this.
I need to play this.
Every Friday nights we're probably gonna play it on 4th of July.
Okay, yeah.
I will probably text everybody who plans to join this.
If it's around this time, you can count on me to be here.
I will be sure to message you. We'll just have to I always put an open party on PlayStation, so
Wait, for what?
for Jackbox every Friday.
Jackbox.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm gonna download that.
here's the thing. So here's the thing, Josh. I want to kind of mention something about that comment. So yes, we are actually in kind of quite an interesting state when it comes to gaming. We're very spoiled. Like now, there's a new game like releasing every like 2-3 weeks. So, we're seeing a lot of games.
One person's opinion of like, oh, the gaming industry is dead. Like, what did we get? Knock on wood. Bombed? Like,
Okay, so what I think.
Saturated.
So this is what I think they're trying to say. AAA gaming specifically is getting very oversaturated. And because everything is becoming bloated budgets and the return to investments are not there anymore, they're falling a lot faster in comparison to these like indie titles or these first-time devs. Expedition 33 is going to be the perfect example, and I will keep saying this example. Expedition 33 is a studio by Sandfall Interactive, is a studio that is made up of 33 ex-Ubisoft devs. The lead designer was bored at Ubisoft and just left, made his own company, went on Reddit to look for voice actors, found his writer through that, and even found his composer, who is probably going to win OST of the year.
God, that's sick.
And you want to know what's crazy about our composer? He's on SoundCloud.
Well, I mean, most people are.
He started on SoundCloud. And it was just by chance this happened. And what did they turn out? They turned out potentially one of the greatest games of all time, and a video that I am eventually going to make, which is a top 30 video games, just to honor that I'm old as fuck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. That game is very high on my list.
Okay.
And then on top of it, the game looks like a AAA game for $50.
My God.
Free if you have Xbox Game Pass.
Exactly.
Hey, don't rough it. Don't fuck.
Here's a hot topic change. What are your opinions on the average game price? For example, Nintendo going from $50 to practically $100.
Fuck no.
I mean,
Fuck
like,
no, I hate it.
80, but like
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah,
it.
everyone hates
I think we all agree we hate it.
Like,
Yeah.
that is
There's no conversation here. It just sucks.
Let's just put it this way. Why the fuck would you make Mario Kart $80?
and it's still because you get
they
your
better be giving me like a separate like steering wheel or some shit. Like,
See,
That's
the only
base
reason
rate.
that the only reason I would pay above 70, because even 70 is a lot. 70 is a lot. The only reason I'm gonna
Yeah.
pay more is because it's a deluxe edition and I get early access. That's it.
facts.
So you explain to me how Nintendo just decided we're gonna make Mario Kart World $80. Why? Just cause.
Mario Kart World?
Yes. That's the
Yeah,
that's their
the new one that they announced.
that's the new one. That's their launch title for
What's the
Nintendo
world
Switch 2.
aspect? Isn't it just different tracks?
It's literally like Gran
No,
Turismo.
it is an open. Yeah, go ahead.
It's
Dan.
Gran Turismo in Mario Kart.
Forgive me. The only Gran Turismo I played was like the second ever one.
Basically open world
It's
driving.
Nintendo.
It's open world.
Yeah.
so Gran
Open
Turismo
world.
kind of made like an open aspect, like that.
So
one
it's an
NBA
open
game,
world. So it's a Mario Kart with an open world aspect to the game.
like that one NBA.
So you have to
game.
drive. You have to drive to the locations. Yes, you have to go to each race, travel
Okay.
there, and then do the race. Yes.
I get it, fine, but I feel like I'm shortchanged.
No.
Well,
I still don't agree that it's $80 because let's put it this way: there's a
That's like two games in one, but getting shortchanged from the other. Like,
like, look, don't get me wrong. From what I hear, people say that the game is actually like high quality. It's just, why is it $80 still?
And it's stupid because if you get the Switch 2 like the like bundle, it's only $50 if you look at it.
Yeah,
how higher quality can you get than a basic ass Nintendo game?
but it's not. I mean, it's not basic anymore. It just looks like it is. If you actually look at and see some of the, it's all polished and everything. It's all
that's the one.
as IP'd up as fucking possible. But like,
See,
yeah,
and
it's still the experience is not worth it.
yeah. So
we
that's
need a Mario first shooter.
They have that. What are they? What is that? What they have that? What is that?
that's called
The
Metroid.
Rabbit series? No,
VR
it's not
featuring
called-
Mario.
No, it's not called Metroid. You motherfucker. You son.
Oh my god.
Well,
Like,
either way,
that's why I like just the kind of, and it's funny because this kind of circles back to like that second topic we had. The reason I cannot justify getting a Switch 2 at the current state it is. There's only one game that really utilizes the Switch 2.
Exactly. This was the same argument for the PS5.
PS5 still doesn't have games.
That is true.
that's hilarious.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Xbox is popping out with
That's
more
also-
games than PlayStation.
I want new games.
Sorry,
It's
Trev.
PS5 is coming to it. No, you're fine. PS5 is coming towards the end of its life cycle, like because there's already rumors of a PS6.
Within
And
like
we
2-3
still
years.
haven't had. I mean, it feels like we still recently got Spider-Man 2. Like that was, we
feels
thought
like-
that was going to be a launch title, but it wasn't. So
We thought the
like,
same thing for Ratchet and Clank as well.
Oh my! We don't talk about that IP anymore.
We barely talk about the IP.
Like, I'm sorry.
He hasn't played the new one.
I've yet to play the new one
either.
The
New-
original.
Yeah,
new ones are there with new ones and retelling of new ones. I'm done. Like,
There you
no.
go. There's your fucking answer.
I'm sorry. Thank God they beat up that IP with Ratchet and Clank. I would not have forgave Sony if they did that with Jack and Daxter or some shit.
God. But yes, like that's kind of like the big thing about that is the problem with the Switch too. It's probably like one of the worst launch lineups, like just hands down. That actually just this entire console generation has probably some of the worst launch lineups I've seen. Because PS5, what the fuck did you play that didn't eventually come to PC? I don't fucking know what Xbox had. Nintendo Switch 2.
Astro's Playroom.
I remember there was a wave. It was after. So, if I were to pinpoint this accurately, this was, I think it was 14, 16, when there was, oh my god, please don't draw a blank right now. Come on, I had a good point. Hold on.
Wow, you have all of the attention right now.
Oh no!
Where all of us were slowly moving away from the coolness of the PlayStation, and people are like, "Hey, I'm playing this Microsoft game. Like, what is that? Oh, it's this huge pirate island game.
Sea of Thieves?
Yes, that whole era of I'm on this game. What's that? Oh, it's a Microsoft game. Oh, I'm on this game. Oh, it's a Microsoft game. I'm like, wait. And then there was this whole debate. Like, no, you were either this or you were either that. You remember?
Console Wars
And
dead.
then all of those IPs got bought out, and now we have them now, or some of them.
And you know what? And I apologize for that topic earlier. Remember how I said there was only 3 Microsoft games? Add 4 because of Actually, no, it's 5. It's actually 5 games. 4 are released. 1 is potential, being Halo, but Grounded and Sea of Thieves were Microsoft titles.
I never played that game, but it looked so much fucking
It definitely
fun.
is a game that seems like you need like a dedicated group just to play with.
I believe that. Honestly.
Yeah. But
that I wish there was more of. Like, ugh.
well, this is where the next Xbox is going to come in. Because here's the thing, Josh. This new Xbox is getting Steam integration. And you know what that means?
It means more of what I just said.
Basically,
No,
you're going to get...
I'm sorry.
You can play PlayStation games on an Xbox. And you can also get access to the Steam library. And the Steam library is pretty fucking big.
So it's gonna be okay. See, I didn't even think to mention the Xbox, right? So now back to the other debate. We're just all gonna have to see the competition and how it goes out, right? Like you just saying that, right? I'm thinking, okay, more capabilities to expand our horizons that way. I can't wait to see that.
Exactly. That's why we are a mostly gaming podcast, but we try to. I don't even think we're ever going to touch this last topic because I feel like we need to save that. That's all I'm going to say.
I need. Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind buying an Xbox.
Let's go. We're getting it. We're getting the ball rolling.
When you said that, I looked wistfully at my PS5, and I felt like a genuine like dilemma within me.
And guess what? This is what I'm going
to.
to say. What the fuck is the point to get the PS5 now?
Well, yeah. Is
Anyways,
GTA?
You don't have it by now.
Is GTA?
GTA. I don't think it is.
No, right? It's on every platform, right?
Only consoles.
Right. Okay. Only consoles.
So
well, it's consoles, I think, for the first.
it's like the first year or something like that.
First year or 6 months.
Could you imagine the Switch 2 being able to play GTA 6?
You got a grenade,
Wow.
is what you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, are
Oh
there any
my
rated
God.
M Nintendo games?
I don't think they've like a first party or anything.
Does Nintendo license mature games?
They did before.
Yeah.
But
Isn't Bayonetta?
They
Wait,
do with the Switch.
Bayonetta, I think, is a rated M game. Last time I checked, unless it's T.
I think it's T.
Well,
There's no fucking
also-
way. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on, I'm looking this shit
you guys have. Oh no! There we go.
That's just my argument for it would never. The family market is gonna mature for Nintendo if that happens.
Listen, you have to understand that Nintendo does have third-party licensed games on their platforms that are rated M, right? They have
Bayonetta is
the
rated
Call of
M, by the way.
Duty.
That's
Oh.
great. What is Bayonetta?
Very You wanted to find Gooner bait? Just look it up.
What the hell?
She's very hot, though. I will admit,
Nice.
but she's very hot. But she also does a. Let's just not talk about that.
No.
We continue.
We may after dark.
Nice. Podcast After Dark. Join the Patreon.
Going to Patreon.
But
Hint, hint.
Something to look into in the future. Anyway.
Did someone make this Patreon so we can get paid?
God. Should we just
okay.
hard transition into
Yeah. Switch topics, please, because I'm
hard transition. All right. So this is kind of like hard transition into something recently that just came up. Maybe like the last. I want to say like. When did I hear about this? Like last week, maybe like week and a half now at this point. So there was a initiative in the EU that is called the Stop Killing Games Initiative. And
what the?
So
Listen.
Okay, so the initiative.
Is this like old by the guy who from the TikTok?
No, listen.
No, not that. That's something else. Stop Killing Games. So the Killing Games Initiative is the Cliff Notes version of it is to any games that are affected by DRM. So basically, that need like a server or online access, that they don't get shut down just because the company doesn't want to support it. And what the initiative strives for is to make those games available to the public even after they spent their hard-earned money, and that the servers eventually just go to the fan base that is dedicated to that game. Sounds good, right?
Let's see.
So for like the perfect example is recently like a game called The Crew, which is an Ubisoft racing game that needs online DRM. It just got shut down, and that's after people spent money on it. Granted, it's an older game, mind you. Like I think like sometime in the 2010s, but nonetheless, people still bought it with their hard-earned money, and then all of a sudden they can't go back to it.
It reminds me of Team Bondi. Fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And Rockstar in general right now.
That's why.
What?
It's like to give an example. I mean, well, technically GTA 5 is still fucking going. But
oh yeah.
So the controversy but the controversy with the Stop Killing Games initiative was that big Twitch streamer Pirate Software basically said that this was a really bad initiative. He openly said that he was not going to support it, but the problem was that all of his statements were essentially wrong, and he did not want to account for being wrong. He doubled down.
Oof.
And after that, at least when I checked it before we did the recording, it's close to 1 million signatures already. Like, they need to hit 1 million by the end of July, which it's probably gonna make it at this point.
I think they can if it's the end of the month.
Yes, and especially because all the big content creators just came out spreading word about it. Even Trev mentioned Jacksepticeye earlier. He mentioned it.
I saw him.
So,
he shared it on his
YouTube.
text post on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure his X or his Instagram or whatever he's using, TikTok maybe,
it's blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh yeah.
with that being said, I know we're not European citizens, obviously, but this is definitely the initiative I would have 100% supported. especially because like let's use an example, like let's just say GTA Online. Let's use it for the example. They just decide to shut down the servers just because they're moving on to GTA 6. And obviously the company doesn't want to support it, but you need to have like a life support plan for it to still keep going, even giving it to the fan base. Like, just give them the binary codes to run the servers.
Yeah. They will.
And I just want to know your guys' opinion on it.
Honestly,
There
it was
has to
great
be
to
like an allocation.
Who wants
You
to
go
go?
No, go ahead.
Oh, Jesus.
No, Kev.
I'll-
Fucking gentlemen.
to keep it alive, because there's times where you just want to go back to the old games. Like there's times where you just want to feel like for Halo, like they just like how long ago since they like
Well,
shut down
the
servers for
360
Halo
the
3?
360 servers are I've been long gone. Now, granted, that's a 360, but still.
I wish the Battlefront 2 servers never went, or the Battlefront servers never went
Like
out.
the OG Battlefront.
Yeah,
Well, not really, not so much as PS2 OG, but like the revamped ones.
Oh, well, Battlefront 2 is still going right now. It's actually getting a resurgence. So,
Well, good. I clearly don't know about it. Like I missed that style. You know what I mean?
big arena,
it
big
felt-
Battlefield like style games. Go on.
Or I had the feelings of nostalgia practically the same as Red Dead Redemption, the first one up the second one, and I just liked it. You could you could die, you could shoot from like so freaking far away. The gameplay was fast.
Yeah, it's.
I just liked it. It was one of those.
I love Red Dead 1 online.
shooters.
It was such a fun open world. Like, Red Dead 1 online was so good. Red Dead 2 is just like, they just did not give a shit about it.
Yeah, dog. They tried to fix something that they thought was broken, and nah, dog. That to me at least was injustice. But it is what it is.
But, well, Red Dead 2 online just got a fucking update recently after like 4 years. They gave it a. Yeah, it's kind of like the Undead Nightmare update for the game, essentially. So
I
I
loved Undead Nightmare.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Even then, like it was their version of like a
zombie
zombies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with an open storyline, which I found freaking cool.
It was great. That was a great storyline. Trev, do you have any thoughts on the Stop Killing Games initiative?
Yeah, well, I mean, it just. I understand that, like, we all want to go back to the games that made us feel like, again, that sense of nostalgia. But a lot of these games had servers that needed to be upkept and needed to be worked on by a constant group of people and individuals, which, while sounds pretty fun and sounds like they should have all the resources they need, realistically, gaming companies need to reallocate a lot of their sources and a lot of their people to different projects. The best way that I can see it is if you go into like deep dives of people on YouTube going into how certain games were made. That's them doing the research, following down the rabbit hole, and presenting their findings. And more often than not, it's a chaotic mess. Even if it has a clear structure, even if it has like a clear goal and landing zone, and it will stay a mess until it goes through countless rounds of playtesting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, in terms, and then adding an online element onto that where it's always constantly up. The only one who I believe is, well, not the only one, but one of the ones who I believe figured it out is Fortnite, is Epic Games. And through Fortnite and through all their other games is that they've applied that same philosophy and mentality to their gaming to different gaming genres, right? Fall Guys, Fortnite, amongst others. I don't know all their backlog, but like in terms of like an actual studio, like they have money coming in from multiple different games and multiple different like fans and other avenues. Other gaming studios don't have all of that back chips, you know, and they're trying to do that. Then after a while, if there's not a lot of people, if the numbers don't speak for it, it doesn't matter how great of a time someone else is having. As a business, they're going to reallocate their shit. You know, they're going to make sure that they put the people that they need and higher quality to working on the stuff that's going to make them the most money, which is a shame. And that's why we get a bunch of different games and their servers getting shut down, because it all the way up until now has been upkept, at least by a team or at least one person. But then it proves to be a waste of resources, at least for the company, which sucks, because it's a constant fight between company and consumer. What's best for the company so that we can keep making games for the consumer, and what is the consumer going to allow the company to get up with in order for them to make that quota? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what we're seeing. I mean, like what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing now. Like we're seeing people who have put the money and recently put the money into these games, having the with all of a sudden having it be revoked. So now you have this messy situation that they find themselves in, and now you have this response to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because I assume that affected, like, I don't know how many countless amount of people
A lot.
who most likely bought the game. Yeah, enough for this to be a thing. So, like, clearly that's an oversight in the system and how things have been operating. So I get the response. I don't have any reason to not support it, except for the fact that if we want these companies to keep up the quality of what they're pumping out, they kind of do need to be free to make those decisions. It sucks, but it's a finite amount of resources that they have, so they have to like figure out how they're going to utilize all of their pieces in the best way possible and the way that's going to turn the best profit. So a lot of those is risks. A lot of those are business risks. So there's a whole side of the argument I feel like that's not being said with that, because all it's coming from right now is the consumer side, which I'm on, and I do value my rights as a consumer when it comes to certain games. If you're going to sell a game on your platform, it should be available for the people who bought it. Like that should be a given. But I understand why it was taken away a bit more than I won't say more than most, because I'm sure people are, but like it's just, to me, it doesn't surprise me that this is happening. What I believe then should be on the dev side is they need to be a lot more like forward thinking with some of these games, that especially going forward. Like if there's going to be replayability, you'll have to at least budget aside away from that. Or if it does have an ending, give your live service its live service, but create a narrative that overarcs so that it's at least entertaining while it's there. Because if you're just providing a live service, like Call of Duty, every other game like that, Marvel Rivals, IP, the journey through it has to be entertaining enough for people to warrant any big changes like that. And to end the game, you got to make it worth people's time. Otherwise, it's always going to feel like someone's getting gypped. So I get why they're doing it. I'm still on the side of the consumer. I would support this initiative, but I would add to it that what would be expected of game devs is going forward with live service games, be realistic with your expectations on the life cycle. Take the numbers that you've taken from your failed attempts, apply it to what you want to fix. And if you know your game that you want to make isn't going to be long standing, then create a contract around that and create a narrative that can service that. So like a what if scenario. I know I'm going on a tangent, but what if scenario is if like DC has their own, and I think it's in development, or if there might be something that exists. But DC's response to Marvel Rivals, right? If that game all of a sudden becomes popular and if it does exist, fine. But my idea behind this is, in order for that to work, because they've come late to the party, it has to be short lived, but it has to be as entertaining as a first person game, but have it be live service. So they gotta have to actually, in order to turn a profit, or to be the next big game, they have to do all that extra work, which is counterintuitive if you think about it from the developer side. But that's if they want to have the cake and eat it too. I don't know. I that got away from me. I think, but I think I would support this initiative, but just give that addendum to the game devs. It's like, be realistic about your own game's expectations and about its fan response. At this point, we have enough data to suggest what avenue you want to go down and what that has historically been, and then you can add your boons, your IPs, your buffs, your little gimmicks on top of it to get people to stay. But I feel like if you're going to do that, make a narrative. You know what I mean? Make it exciting for people to come back and visit this live service game. I think they attempted that with Marvel Avengers and they fucked up like heavily with that. That's what I mean. Like that they are on the right track, and same thing with Gotham Knights. So I understand they're trying, but they're not there yet. And I feel like with all these other games that they're trying, maybe that's the point of why they're pulling support from the crew, is because they're trying to reallocate those things to something else like that. So I don't know. I'm still about the initiative. I just want to be clear with what is happening, because there's too much like that's being withheld from us about game day until after the game is released. And then we find out about all the warts and all the fucking bullshit because they're afraid we won't buy the game. At this point, I'd rather just know, like, nope, I can make an educated decision. Do it. So I don't know. This turned into a rant. I apologize, but
No,
I would support
it's
this
fine,
initiative.
dude. It's completely
So
fine.
informative.
Yeah.
I feel.
But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Trev, with this initiative, it's like I said, I was mentioning earlier, the initiative is also, say a game is going to get sunsetted, whether it's a single player or online MMO. You give the codes to the people that are supporting the game, and they make magic with it. They keep the game going. That's the point of this initiative. The problem is
See, that's
but because this is where Pirate Software is like entirely wrong. He thinks that because people are just gonna hack the game and like kind of like destroy it. You're the host to a server. You can get rid of people if you don't like what they're doing. So you can
okay, but that still means he has to have a dedicated team of people
well
on
that's
that server.
Again, it's a fan base. It's the fan base that you're sending it to. And usually, a lot of times when these like older games, that fan base tends to be generally pretty small. And as long as that fan base still wants to keep going, they want to stay dedicated as much as possible, the game will still live on, even like, years after its initial launch. That's kind of like the whole premise of the initiative.
Is that working for some game? I feel like games like Crew and a bunch of these niche games that do have a, but then like underneath for it to, I feel like, to go through, it's gonna need to apply to pretty much every, maybe some stipulations on some games and franchises, but like for the most part, like indie games that are live service or anything like that, like things that can have a live service server or anything else like that, I feel like they would get gypped from it. But I don't know all the particulars, so I can't say that for certain.
Mhm.
For certain.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Oh yeah, of course. But yeah. I mean, it's very big, like, because this sort of low key kind of leads into like kind of like the developing thing that's happening right now too, because Brazil is actually gonna sue Nintendo because of their new policy with bricking consoles. So because there's a new the new user license agreement. I'm gonna try to speedrun this one. The user license agreement for Nintendo basically is if you mod the Nintendo Switch 2 any point like whatsoever, they have the right to brick the console entirely. Obviously, the problem is then that means you do not own the console. You are leasing a console, and if you're spending $450 on that, that's already an issue right there.
Yeah,
That's not good.
yeah, that's a huge no.
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's
No,
the other
and-
reason I don't want to get a Switch 2 because of that.
Very
I mean-
thoughtfully, like.
Well, because they want, like I said, they want control over their IP, and to a point where it's like, no, we don't want anybody modding anything in our games. We want it to be as we intended it. So get it and respect that, or we will. You see that? Yeah, that's wild. You've paid $450 for something that.
Yeah.
No, that's fucking crazy, dude. That's like if the PlayStation. That's like if they go like, oh, so you can't mod anything on this PlayStation, otherwise we're gonna brick you from your entire account and everything. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
So
so
What
it's
the
like
fuck?
it's like so it's just us as consumers, like we want to enjoy your product, but we also want to feel like we own the product as well. And if you're going to be doing stuff like that, that's very anti-consumer. What is the point of us wanting to support you? Now, granted, this is obvious, this is what I want people to understand, like going forward with gaming nowadays, because now companies are really trying to gain control over all their stuff. And the problem is that the consumers support these companies. And this is going to be a topic for like another day, but I do have my gripes when it comes to people who are casuals and don't really look into stuff like this. That is very important for the future. And if people don't ignore this, you're just enabling these companies to do whatever the hell they want, which we do not like that at all.
we can't ignore it.
So that's just my perspective when it comes to something like that. So, and I pray that, I assume Brazil is gonna win this because of this stupid policy.
It's probably gonna reach some stupid settlement.
Unfortunately, that's the thing that scares me the most, because Nintendo usually wins all of their lawsuits.
That's what I'm saying.
So
They'll this will be bloody, or they'll have to reach a settlement.
yep, definitely.
Well,
Yeah.
shit.
Well, we can't.
That's very thoughtfully, man. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, we can't.
What do you say?
Well, I guess we can't end.
Not even the music industry is this petty.
Yup. But
It's like, hey, it's my sample, bro. But I'm like, oh wait, but it's okay. It's making me more famous. Hey, you could use it.
yeah. Yep. Definitely. But we'll go ahead, close out the show on that one.
Bummer. I was having fun.
I mean, we're on.
What's on that one? Don't we have
Do you
one
want to
more?
end on something? Do you want to shoot the last topic?
All right. I'll
Let's.
shoot it.
You want to end on the light note? Let's end on the light note.
I would like to end on a light note.
All right, fine.
For
Okay.
others.
The last topic, and this is a much more. This is actually the name of the episode, which I call it the thoughtful
Sean
episode.
Diddy come.
No.
Why? That's no. Jeremy, can you,
But okay, this is something I kind of just thought about, especially because I did, as I already mentioned, I did turn 30, and this has kind of been like an yes, I know I'm fucking old, dude. I kind of want to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Is a topic that I've been thinking about recently, which is what would I have told my younger self, say 5-10 years ago? What would I have told myself at this point?
Pull out.
Nice.
No.
Out of fucking nowhere.
No, he had that locked in. Guys, he had
That
that
is
locked in.
comedic timing.
That was premeditated. That was premeditated. Oh my god. That's funny.
My standing
oh my
ovation
god.
for comedic timing.
Oh my god, that was...
Talk about ending on a lighter now. There you go.
That was great.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll make it short and sweet. Although I have so much, I have so much knowledge of what the present is. There's more to come later, with answers to the hardest questions in that moment. So don't speed up. Take your time so that you can be able to aim for the middle and not shoot fast, knowing that there's other factors that could mess up your arrow from shooting straight forward.
Wow, he just dipped.
Nice.
Did you not?
He's
Were you
like,
not?
"Fuck it,
Were you not able to hear us,
I
Jeff?
don't do any of that. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, he was just having audio issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst timing.
I know, right?
It's totally fine.
I don't-
But yeah,
It's just funny because you just
short.
like you dipped as soon as he finished his. So the timing was just funny.
long
That's
metaphor short. Don't hurry up. Take your time so that you could shoot with accurate precision.
There you go.
And
I
land.
like that. I like that one.
And land where you sought yourself. Yeah.
Trev, you got
Mine would be to find your focus. And what I mean by that is
oh no, his audio.
Oh no,
I think his Wi-Fi just started dying on him.
it's okay.
Trev, you're frozen. Oh no.
Do I want to build a snowman?
Oh my god, it's just a.
Oh no, it's bad.
It's just people won't see this. We're just staring at a still image of him. Oh no, Trev is gonna crash out as soon as he has the whole speech. We're just gonna tell
Here
him.
lies Symbiodrift.
Unless his Wi-Fi just crashed on him.
The man is Han Solo right now. Just frozen in cybernetic time.
Okay, I unfortunately gotta cut off on Trev's thing. But I guess like the thing to tell myself, starters, budget. Learn to budget fast. So you don't end up in the situation that basically made me move out here. And enjoy the struggle. Do not always enjoy the struggle because it will make you into a better individual.
It'll help you learn, you know?
Yeah. That's it.
There he is.
Okay.
There he is.
Sorry, Trev. I was gonna
it's fine.
here. I was actually in the middle of my note, but I will quickly just say it real quick. First thing, like what I would tell my younger self: learn to budget, like very fast, and enjoy the struggles because it will carve a better future for yourself. No matter how hard it gets, you got to learn to love it.
Your younger self would He goes, "That's pretty weak." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's really sweet. I'm kidding.
But
No, it's
do you want to
Take it.
say yours, Trev, since you're going to be our closeout?
Yes. Okay, so I would basically tell my younger self that although it is hard to focus, the fun part is to find a way to trick your brain, because the importance of focusing will get you in the right headspace and you can perform miracles in that. But you need to focus. You gotta, and if you can't, if it becomes hard, you have to find a way to trick your brain.
Mhm.
I don't have the way currently, but if I had that, if I had figured it out by now, I would have told him that. But I would tell him to focus and don't worry about it and try not to overthink, because he's got to learn to just let go and trust it.
Mhm.
So I'd say that. I'd say that.
That's very good.
Wholeheartedly agree.
That's very good.
Hmm.
All right. Well, there's our lighter note that we can end this one on. And thank you guys for watching whatever gameplay I put up here and listening to another episode of the Off the Top podcast.
Hell yeah.
Where can everyone find you guys?
Read your mind.
So
Yeah.
I will have
Same-
I will have everyone's
Yeah.
handles in the description of this video. Josh, you can find that at RDYRMND, RDYRMND, and then Trevor.
Mhm. Well, me, I'm at PJ Dino on Instagram, but stay tuned because there's actually a big thing in Hollywood that I'll be coming up and part. And once I start performing it, I'll plug. It's exciting.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Film. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yep. And then where can everyone find you, Kevin? If you even upload now.
I honestly haven't been uploading. That's the thing. I gotta
Try to get back on the horse.
get back on the horse, and I gotta start recording more shit too. But I will be on Ultdemon on all platforms.
All right. And this is your host. This is your host, Zero Requiem 14, the host of the most unprofessional professional podcast in the YouTube space, the Off the Top podcast. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Have a happy 4th of July, and we will see you next time. Take care. Have a good day, good evening, good night, whenever you're listening or watching this.
Yeah.